Hello and welcome to the live broadcast of News Live on Viewer Television. My name is Phillips Levin. First, the headlines. Sarah Ochekbe, a former minister, and two others have been sentenced to 3 months in prison. Also, troops neutralize terrorists and recover weapons in Borno State. Away from Nigeria, South Africa, police kill 10 would-be robbers in shootout, 5 officers wounded. Hello and welcome again, and now the news in detail. The Federal High Court sitting in Jos on Tuesday sentenced a former Minister of Water Resources, Sarah Ochekbe, to 3 months imprisonment. Ochekbe, who served as minister under former President Goodluck Jonathan, was sentenced alongside a former chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Plateau State, Raymond Dabo, and the Plateau State coordinator of Jonathan's campaign organization, Leo Sunday Jitong. The 3 accused persons had been standing trial since 2018 in the case of money laundering and conspiracy brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, amounting to over 450 million naira. On fighting insurgency, the Nigerian army has said troops have neutralized several members of the Islamic State West African province and Boko Haram in Borno State. The operation was carried out by troops of 402nd Special Forces Brigade on Tuesday. Recovered during the operation include a large cache of weapons, bombs, 1 Mohawk APC, 1 TCV, among others. The terrorists withdrew in disarray due to troops' superior firepower. Several operational vehicles of the terrorists were recovered. Rotimi Amechi, Minister of Transportation, says Kano State will house the biggest rail station in the country. Amechi said this in Abuja when a delegation led by Abdullahi Ganduje, Governor of Kano State, visited him to discuss the rail and inland dry port. Earlier, Ganduje said that the state government had contributed about 2.5 billion naira to the dry port project to ensure its speedy completion and commercialization.
Two major federal government projects in Kano that are fall within the rail line beginning from Kano to Kaduna. We had applied to the Kano State government to give us land where we will build the biggest station in Nigeria. It is the biggest station because we are combining 2 rail lines. The first one is the Kano Maradi, which will empty in Kano, and then the second one is the Kano Kaduna, which will also empty in Kano. And don't forget that the station we're building in Kano, we are at the end of the day build the station that will take passengers from Lagos to Kano. So if you combine Kano Maradi and Lagos Kano, you know that the volume of passengers you will get in a week will be above 1 billion passengers.
Yes, we are investing about 2.5 billion naira by providing access road to the premises and providing also other social amenities, just to contribute our own quota. Because that project was conceived about 20 years ago, but it never materialized until during our time. So I make sure that this project is a reality. And in order to do that, we have to provide an enabling environment, and we have to contribute to our own quota. So we're happy with the developers because they have gone far. And also, we're happy with the Honorable Minister of Transportation because he is giving maximum cooperation and assistance to see that the Kano State, the inland dry port is.
The federal government said it will soon launch a national sensitization campaign against the growing scourge of money ritual in Nigeria. The government said the trend has already claimed many lives, especially of women and girls in the country. A statement issued by Shegun Adeyemi, the Special Assistant Media to the Ministry of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Muhammad, said the minister announced this in Abuja. Muhammad said the National Orientation Agency is already partnering with religious and traditional organizations as well as NGOs to forge behavioral change, especially among the youth, some of whom, he said, are afflicted by the get-rich-quick syndrome. following the tough stance by leaders of the Economic Community of West African states against recent coup d'etat in sub-region. The cooperation of the international community, including other global regional bodies and financial institutions, will concretize the effort against unconstitutional changes of government and deter coup plotters. Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo stated this late Monday when he received on a courtesy visit to the presidential villa the United Kingdom's Minister for Africa, Vicky Ford, MP, who was accompanied by British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Lang. Speaking on the government's effort in the area of energy transition and economic development, the Vice President stated Nigeria's commitment to the post-COP26 agenda while calling on wealthier countries in the international community to fulfill their obligation, especially in funding gas as a transition fuel. The federal government has commended the National Troupe of Nigeria over its drama presentation Strings, a folk music drama which preaches unity, peace, and understanding in the country. Dr. Ifeoma Anya-Utaku, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, made the commendation shortly after the drama presentation in Abuja. The artistic director of the National Troupe of the Nigeria, Malam Ahmad Muhammad, said Strings drew attention towards the strength of nations' shared heritage, unity, peace, and progress.
The performance has been simply marvelous. Marvelous. What I've seen here is a clear display of creativity, talent, particularly with the message they put across about unity, peace, and understanding of the country. Absolutely wonderful. All of Nigerians imbibe the message of this performance. We should look at ourselves as brothers, as sisters. We should look at ourselves primarily as Nigerians and not looking at ourselves being sectional and say, no, I come from this part of the country, I come from that part. We should consider ourselves as Nigerians, and that way strengthen ourselves, we are stronger, and we're able to move our country forward.
Shortly after performance was taken in Lagos, National Troupe of Nigeria ended 2021 with a successful profession of the objective blessing for the nice children's creative session of the State. Our presentation of the speech today, this evening in Abuja, is a creative and cultural engagement with the historical and rigorous social political journey of Nigeria through the threshold of nationhood. Within its various dramatic interplays of doubts, mistrust, rejection, and acceptance, Spirit draws attention toward the strength of our shared heritage, our unity, peace, and progress.
Remember, you're watching News Live, and when we return, a civil society organization under the auspice of Scaling Up Nutrition in Nigeria has called on women to practice the importance of nutrition on their children. The growing took its advocacy movement to some communities in Maiduguri. We have details of this and more when we return. Hello and welcome back. This is News Live if you're just joining us, and here is a recap of our top stories. We've heard Sarah Ochekwe, a former minister, and 2 others have been sentenced to 3 months in prison. And also, troops neutralize terrorists and recover weapons in Borno State. South Africa police kill 10 would-be robbers in shootout, 5 officers also wounded. Now, a civil society organization under the auspices of Scaling Up Nutrition in Nigeria has called on women to practice the importance of nutrition on their children. The group took its advocacy movement to some communities in Maiduguri. Our correspondent, Bistru Kurutsi, has more on this.
A report released by the Food Agricultural Organization reveals currently that over 1 million children are acutely malnourished. About 123,000 pregnant or lactating mothers will suffer malnutrition, and more than 600 may die if nothing is done. In northeast Nigeria, there is an additional challenge. There is now an alarming increase in the numbers of malnourished children. Right here, a coalition of civil society organizations jointly partnered for advocacy, CSSUNN. The Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition in Nigeria Borno State chapter reaches out to some IDP camps for sensitization and support campaigns.
Now that peace has relatively begun to come in the state, so we want to tell the communities that the things that they cultivate easily can be used so that they can be able to use it to feed their children, to uplift the nutrition standard of their children. Little things. The children don't really need much. They need just very little, because the body is like a machine. When you feed it with something that is more than what the body requires, it takes up what it wants and it throws away the remaining. So we want to tell them that these little things they see, they don't need much.
For some of these mothers, the campaign is an eye-opener. They are eager to implement lessons learned. We were advised to take good care of our children, making sure that they don't stay hungry and are always clean, also with the environment to prevent diseases. This campaign by CSSUNN cuts across communities in Maiduguri. Bitrus Kuruti, Viewer Television News, Maiduguri.
Gliston International Academy, Abuja, has held its 10th annual inter-house sports competition featuring a march past in honor of Nigeria's standing heroes. In his welcome, the Chief Education Manager of the school, Charles Ene, said the comprehensive march past of all the houses was held in honor of national standing heroes. Itunaya Ebiafuna, a junior secondary school student who was awarded, said she was excited with medals for most of the games. Ebiafuna, mother of Chinwe, said she was proud to be the mother of one of the best gymnasts in the country.
Our policies in this school is to be innovative. So each year we'll add something new. Just like at the beginning, you saw the parade in honor of our standing heroes. Because all this while, there will be remembrance of fallen heroes. But this time, what of those that went and fought, got injured, but they did not die? They are still standing and they are still in it. This is a part of the things we do to create more awareness, to make sure that, yes, these children compete favorably. This time around, they have to complement both. Physical fitness, physical exercise is also helps the brain. So the more they engage in this, it will also facilitate their academic endeavor. Let them place them side by side and do not let anyone down at the expense of.
I feel very honored because I heard that the Sports Student of the Year gets to hold the torch next time. I won one in high jump, one in long jump, one in marathon, another in 400, another in 800, one in 100, and another in 4.
My one advice always is to encourage your words. Sometimes don't compare. Don't tell your child that, can you imagine, that person's child came first. Your child might be first in other things, but you are not reasoning beyond, academics. If you reason beyond one thing or the other, you'll find out that that good thing in your child, you'll be able to bring it out. But if you're always comparing, you might never be able to know what is best for your child. So encourage your children academically and
The federal government says it is ready to install Category 3 instrument landing system at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, Port Harcourt International Airport, and the Katsina Airport. Matthew Pajok, the acting manager director of Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NEMA, made the announcement in Abuja when he featured at a news forum. Pajok said the move will increase the number of airports that had Category 3 ILS in the country to 5.
Navigational facilities is one of the very critical requirements for access into an airport safely, efficiently, and economically. We place very high premium on the procurement and installation of navigational equipment. Over the last 5 years, we've deployed significantly a large number of navigational equipment. We're also planning to install additional ones in Kano, Port Harcourt, and Katsina. Currently, we have installed instrument landing system Category 2 that are required for what we call low visibility operations. That is operations where the visibility or the ability to see is about 300 meters. About 300 meters. Below 800 meters and not lower than 300 meters. You use what we call a Category 2 instrument landing system. For a Category 1 instrument landing system, which are few, you need 800 meters visibility or more. That is, visibility must be about 1 kilometer or more for you to be able to do a Category 1 instrument landing system, which is the lowest of the 3. For Category 3, when the aircraft and the flight crew are adequately certified for it, with the visual lighting system available to Category 3, you can basically land in zero visibility. We have other equipment that will bring the aircraft to the airport, and we call them very high frequency omnidirectional radio range, a VOR. Now the VOR is like a broadcast station. It transmits information, but like a radio station where you tune and hear music. For this navigational facility, when you tune, it gives you directional guidance. It directs you, for example, if you are going to Lagos, it shows you where the direction to Lagos is. So you fly on that.
The governor of Kwara State, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, has condemned attempts by some fifth columnists to polarize the state along religious lines using the issue of hijab in public schools as a smokescreen to advance their evil intent. This is as a point out that Kwara State is a plural society whose diversity and peaceful coexistence as a southernmost northern state are its most unique selling points. This was disclosed in a statement titled "Our Stand on Hijab Based on Law, Respect for Pluralism," signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Rauf J. Kaye, on Tuesday. No fewer than 300 beneficiaries of the Youth Entrepreneurship in Agribusiness Program (YEP) were received by the officials of Oyo State Government at the Agodi Secretariat, Ibadan, following their arrival in Nasarawa State. The agribusiness training for youths in Oyo State, which started on 8th of August 2021, has seen no fewer than 3,300 youths drawn from across the 33 local government areas of the state, including non-indigenous residents in the state. Briefing journalists shortly after their arrivals, the Director General of Oyo State Agribusiness Development Agency, who also doubles as Executive Advisor to the Governor on Agribusiness Matters, Dr. Debo Akande, who was ably represented by Olufemi Ilori, The director of YAP, the Technical Service, Oyo State Agribusiness Development Agency, commended the state governor, Oluseyi Makinde, for his unwavering commitment and support for the success of the training program from the beginning to the end, saying that the next phase is to engage with our 3 local government executive chairmen to provide land for the graduates to start deploying the acquired knowledge.
This is the 11th batch of 300 beneficiaries per trip, making 3,300, 100 per local government. We have 33 local government in your states, and the significance of this training is to empower these youth so that they will be able to take up the challenges of agribusiness. You know, after production, what next? Value addition. So they have learned that in Nasarawa, and they have been equipped. And the state government, on its own part, is the state government has directed the local governments that they should provide land for them, which is the basic thing they need. And the financial aspect has been guaranteed by the state government, so that as far as the last batch has arrived today, the next step is for them to
want to thank His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde for his sensitiveness and inclusiveness. We want to thank him for not discriminating. We are so grateful that we are part of this program. The area I will contribute is the area of maize production. And the reason I choose to go into maize production, because when you look, Oyo State is #1 production of poultry birds. And for you to have enough feeds for your birds, maize is one of the major products that we use. So for that reason, I will go into maize production.
I really want to go for that fishery because I love it. I want to do it. Kudos to you, sir, for working assiduously to turn things around in Oyo State.
This is the time to arise, stand on your feet. Don't sell your future. Don't wait until someone helps you. Stand on your feet. Look at what you can do. Look at what you can be profitable to the government, to the state generally, and try to lay your hand on.
To demand speedy approval to the 2022 electoral bill, civil society organizations in Nigeria declared Tuesday, February 22, 2022, as National Day of Protest. This peaceful public direct action activity is organized by civil society networks to support the bill. Viewer Television's Jennifer Okolo was there and now reports.
Following the delay by the President Muhammadu Buhari to sign the reworked Electoral Amendment Bill 2022, gathered here right at the Unity Fountain in the nation's capital city, Abuja, over 26 CSOs calling on the President to assent to the bill.
We decided to host this to draw the attention of the President in the event he is not aware that Clause 28 of the bill provides that INEC needs to issue notice of election. And so we drew the attention of the President and urged him, to assent to the bill. And it's based on that we are staging this action today to once again reiterate our call and urge the President, to assent to the bill.
The protest had several concerned Nigerians among the crowd holding placards and banners while communicating their concerns amid the chants of "Sign the Bill." The National Assembly delivered the modified bill to the President for his signature on January 31, 2022. As a result, President Buhari submitted it to Abubakar Malami, Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation for legal guidance. That's why the presidency's warnings to put an end to the protest, the group said they will continue with the demonstration in order to pressure him.
One thing we know, we want him to reckon with posterity. We want the president to reckon with the fact that Nigerians deserve to have a new legal framework in order to address the issue of voter apathy, in order to address the issue of rigging, in order to address the issue of manipulation. We need this bill now, and that is exactly what we have come here to do by the coalition of civil society who have gathered here today.
The president should sign the bill, assent to the bill, to move us forward with the electoral process. That's all I want to say. So sign the bill, sign the bill. Mr. President, 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 sign the bill. Our Baba, sign the bill.
Speaking during the protest, Grace Jare, a Nigerian disability activist, human rights advocate, and Barrister Jamila Babuba, President Adamawa Women Initiative for Leadership and Development, say